I think I can retire at 62, not because I'm wealthy, and certainly not because I believe Social Security can fund the life I want, because I started asking myself a different question. Not whether I can live on Social Security alone, but what role does Social Security play in the retirement that I want to create for myself? I am a 62-year-old African American woman, and I've been doing something lately that I wish more of us were encouraged to do. I've been doing the math. This is in no way financial advice. This is simply a framework that I've been using to navigate what my next chapter will look like. And hopefully, you will plug your numbers in and see what your next chapter will look like. Now, here's my disclaimer. I am not using my own personal financial information, and honestly, that would not benefit you at all. The only way you will determine whether this framework is going to work for you is to pull your own Social Security statement. Based on Social Security Administration data for Black women around 62, I'm using about $1,200 a month as our planning figure. For many of you living in a major US city, the answer to the question, can I retire on Social Security alone, may still be a resounding no. But perhaps that's not the right question. In my framework, I do not see Social Security as the whole house. I see it as the foundation. My sisters, if you have been lying awake in bed at night because you're nearing retirement and you're wondering what that next season is going to look like for you, or you've been contemplating relocating outside of the United States because perhaps that may be a better fit, then I want you to subscribe so that you receive the notifications as I continue this particular series. Today, we're going to talk about the gap between that Social Security and real life. Next week, we're going to take that outside of the United States. Now, let's talk about Atlanta because that's where I live when I am in the United States. Now, the example that I'm going to give you, it's not luxury, but it's definitely upscale, definitely not the cheapest way that a woman could make herself fit into life. Let's use an example of a woman who's opting for a lifestyle in a condo or apartment community that has all of the amenities. That will run you roughly in Atlanta about $2,200 a month. And then you have to add on everything else, the utilities, car insurance, regular insurance, groceries, living, and doing everything else. So we're going to round that up to about $3,500 per month. Now, this is the part that sits with you. It will cost that woman $3,500 per month in a US city to have a comfortable, desirable life. And remember, we said that Social Security is $1,200. That leaves a $2,300 per month gap. That's $27,600 a year, somewhere in there, if my math is correct. So, what does that mean in reality? That even after her Social Security begins, she will have to add an additional $28,000 per year to sustain her lifestyle. And guess what? That does not even include any emergencies or helping families. Or how about the lifestyle that she really wants to maintain in those retirement years? Yes, savings are intended to support us, but withdrawing $28,000 a year from other resources just to close the living gap, the basics, that's a very different conversation. That number does not sit on a spreadsheet. It sits on your chest at 2 o'clock in the morning. Now, let's make this personal. The Social Security number does not change based on where you live. However, the cost of your life can change based on geography. So let's take this back to our hypothetical woman with the $1,200 a month Social Security number. And the only thing that we're going to change is her geography. In part two, I am taking this equation to Medellin, Colombia, where I currently reside. So, ladies, before we can determine whether we can retire at 62 or give up a whole nother 10 years of our life before we get to live the life that we want to design and choose, I would encourage us to do the math. Stay unmapped, stay open, and remember, it's not about movement, it's about meaning.